do they do? They will be carrying that pathogens to the open food. So they carry pathogens to the open food. So that is why what we should do, we should always cover the food. Then communicable diseases. Basically, they are those diseases.
Mom, could you show the before slide, mom?
Yeah, just give me a minute, last. So communicable diseases, those diseases which those diseases which spreads from unhealthy to the healthy person. So the person who has already that disease, he or she will be transferring it to the other person. So those diseases which spreads from unhealthy person to the healthy person, that is called as what? That is called as communicable diseases. So many examples are there, like typhoid, you have malaria, you have polio, you have so many are there. We'll be discussing all those.
Ma'am,
Then
COVID.
yeah, COVID also 19 is also there. So non-communicable diseases, these diseases do not spread from those diseases which does not spread from unhealthy to healthy person. So if I have some diseases from my body, it will not transfer to your body. Like, for example, vitamin A, vitamin A night blindness. So night, in the case of the in the case I am not eating the vitamin A, it will affect my body. I'll be getting the problem. So you will not be getting. So that type of diseases where it does not transfer, that is called as the non-communicable disease. But actually, if I tell you children about your higher class, this is your in your grade 10, it is in your grade 8 it is given. But actually, if I talk about the types of diseases, there are four different types of it. Okay. So the first one is the acute disease. The second one is called as the chronic disease. Third one is known as the congenital disease. Congenital disease. And the last one is called as acquired disease. So this is there in your grade 9 and 10 children, but I think you should know it. So though I told you about the difference between the communicable and non-communicable, but actually in reality, four major types of diseases are there: the acute disease, the chronic diseases, then congenital diseases, and the last one acquired diseases. So these are the four different types of the diseases. So I'll just tell you a very little brief about all those diseases. Starting with the acute diseases are those diseases which are for the short period of time. Short period of time. Like fever or cold. Now what happened in fever or cold? How many days it will be there?
Ma'am,
Mom,
3, 4
3 to 4
days.
days.
If it is high fever, it will be 1 week.
Yeah, 3 to 4 days. So 2 to 5 days. Okay, maximum I'm taking 2 to 5 days. Okay. So those
Yes.
diseases which will be there only for the short period of time. Those are called as acute diseases. Fine. And their symptoms will be appearing.
Shivering.
Yeah, it depends upon the diseases. According to the diseases, the symptoms will be different. So in them,
Mom,
the symptoms will appear. Yeah, tell me.
mom, in fever only there are many like type of diseases like that.
Fever is different. Actually, if I talk about general fever, common fever, I'm not talking about, the white fever, yellow fever, all those fevers. I'm not talking about a general normal fever. I'm talking about.
Okay. But there are
So
different columns, like there are different ways. Like I'm not able to say, mom, like that. Even there inside the fever, like many different types in fever.
different types in the sense, different symptoms you can say, not types actually. So like if
Okay.
a normal fever is a viral fever is there because of the virus, because of the infection, infectious fever is there. So So many fevers are there depending upon the person to person and depending on the situation also.
Okay, ma'am.
Right?
Yes,
So they will be there for the short period of time. Then coming to the next one, which is the chronic disease, it is there for the long period of time. I think one of you have given me the example of cancer, right? Now, what happened in the cancer for how many days it will be there? Can you count it? How many days? If someone is
yes.
getting the cancer, so what happened? It will be there for the long period of time. Long period of time, like cancer. It can be for the year, it can be for the 6 months, it can be for more than that. So such kind of diseases which are there for long period of time, it is called like TB also. So tuberculosis. So it will be there for the long time. Those diseases are called as the chronic diseases. And if I talk about now one more difference, what happened in the chronic diseases, the person will get the person will reduce in weight. So whatever the weight of the person is there, they will reduce in weight. Whereas in the acute diseases, it does not happen. The weight does not get reduced. Then in the chronic disease, person will feel very weak. So
Ma'am, how
always
do
in chronic,
chronic diseases occur, ma'am?
because of the microbes. Whatever the microbes are there, like if I talk about the COVID-19 also, that microbe was there, right? It has affected so many bodies, but in some of the body, it was cured in some 7 days, 14 days, right? In some of the body, it was a long time. And still, you won't believe, but still some of the, person have the impact of the COVID-19 so long that till now those person cough, cold is frequent in them. It is because of that COVID-19 which was affected their body 2 years back, but still they can feel the impact of the cold and cough. Means like cold and cough has not gone out of their body, it is still there in the body. So these kind of diseases where the impact is there for the long time, that is called as the chronic diseases. So in the chronic disease, it will be there for the long time. The person will feel so weak, so tired, and ultimately they will reduce the weight also. But in the acute
Same,
disease, yeah,
same symptoms even occur in the cancer also, ma'am, because of the
no,
microbes.
yeah, microbe will be there, but in that, what happens? The number of cells will be increases. So suppose, for example, if I have a cell, maybe for example, I am taking alpha cell. Okay, I have a cell called as alpha cell. So what happens in the cancer? That cell, that one particular cell, they will keep on dividing and they form so many. And once they form so many cells, they start spreading from one part of the body to the other part, and that is how it spreads. And that is why you might have heard, like, the person is at the different stage, initial first stage, second stage, last stage. What is the stage actually here? It means the number of those cells has been increased. How much? In the initial stage, in the first stage, might be they have the 20 cells. Fine. In the later stage, second stage, what happened? It becomes 40. And now at the last stage, it is more than 80. Now they cannot control it. They cannot control because it has been spreaded in the whole of the body. So it cannot be controlled because if they are cutting any part or if they are removing any cells from one part, maybe, then what happens? From the upper part also they have to remove it. From the right side also they have to remove it. From the left hand side also they have to remove it. That is why if someone has these kind of problems, then immediately they have to consult so that these cells do not multiply. Because once they multiply, then it will be very, very difficult to control them. Understood, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
ma'am.
Others? Then the third type of
Yes, ma'am.
disease is the congenital disease. It is the congenital diseases. These are those type of diseases which are there from birth. Fine. So from the birth, these are present in the body of the child. Fine. So, like for example, you might have heard like
I'm blind.
if come again, Charan.
Ma'am, deaf or blind from birth.
Deaf or blind, not in every case. Not in every cases. It does not happen in every cases. Like you might have heard, like if your grandparents are diabetic, then your parents will be diabetic. If your parents are diabetic, you will be diabetic. You are diabetic, then it goes to the next generation. So it does not mean that immediately you have to get it. You will be getting in your lifetime. Okay, like from the birth it is there to you, but it does not show the impact in your body. It will be showing maybe after 50 years, maybe after 60 years. But yes, that you have got from your parents as a heredity. Fine, heredity means,
Ma'am,
yeah, transferring of characters from your parents to you. Yeah, tell me.
ma'am, how how do you get birthmark, or does it have anything to do with the microbes?
No, birth does not have. Like, see what happens actually. My kid also has a birthmark like here. It does not look like the birthmark. It's a small kind of this, blood-like spot. Immediately he has got after the birth, and I was little worried because what was happening? As the day was passing, that spot, the blood spot was increasing in the size. So I went to the doctor and I asked him, what is the problem? Like, is he fine? Is really a problem that it is increasing in the size also? So they said there is no problem. What happened eventually, slowly and gradually, when the child is growing, after 2 years or 3 years, this spot will reduce in the size. So it is because of the cells. So it is not like important that all the cells are harmful. They will be causing some problem in our body. Some cells are useful also. And these spot, like if I think you can see in my hand also, I have here, right? So that is because of the different chemicals which are secreted in our body. See, I have in my hand. Same thing I have in my left leg. So it is because of the secretion of the different chemicals. And because of them, it makes a spot. Like if I talk about my sister's body, she has in her whole body, she has, these marks and all. Because in her body, the secretion of these chemicals are so much. So that is why she got it. And it is not like when we are small, that time only we'll be getting it. We get it when we are growing also. Fine. And some of the women they get it after pregnancy also or during pregnancy also. So different causes are there for all these things.
Okay, ma'am.
Fine. So congenital disease from the birth, it will be there with us. Like, okay, one more very important example, like congenital, you have that is the AIDS. Have you ever heard the word AIDS?
I didn't got, ma'am. No, ma'am, I didn't
AIDS.
heard.
Varshit, Charan, Amatur, Shrestha, AIDS, Pranav.
No, ma'am.
No,
No,
ma'am.
that is a very, very important disease, actually. That is a disease where there is no cure, actually. Till now, no medicine for that disease. And it is also caused by the virus, which is human immunodeficiency virus, okay, HIV virus, which is called as. So, what happens if any person has that AIDS problem? Then that person, for sure, he has or she has to die because there is till now there is no actually medicine. By giving the medicine, maybe a kind of few days the doctors can increase, but ultimately after some time he or she has to die. A few years back, I can't remember the year. Few years back, I think children you all can turn on your video. Shrestha, Pranav, Amatur, Charan, turn on the video, children. So a few years back, then what happened? Like there was a news which was spread, I think, in the Kerala. So one of the lady, she got identified with this HIV, actually the AIDS disease she was suffering from. And how the doctor got to know? Doctor got to know when she got pregnant, and when she conceived the child, she went to the hospital, and like so many ultrasounds will be there, so many tests will be there. So during that test, doctor identified that lady is basically has the AIDS, actually acquired immuno problem. So in that case, what happened? The doctor said to the women clearly that if you're going to give birth to your child, then definitely he or she will also have the same problem of the AIDS. And if that child survives, if he or she is also there, then if she get married, then also their child also will have the same problem. Now, what happened if the number of cases of the AIDS increase in our, in our area or in the maybe state and all, it creates a lot of problems because ultimately no solution, no medicine, no cure. That is the reason it is very, very, very harmful. And what happened? That lady actually in mid of that pregnancy, she died because doctor said clearly, if you have the AIDS, we can give you the medicine, but now it is on your body system whether that medicines are ready to accept your body or not. So she said, okay, I'll take a risk. And she was under the medicines only, but ultimately, after like few months, she was dead. And how this AIDS spreads, uh, we think like, it is a very, very jungle thing and all, especially, the boys. What happened? You might be, right now you're small. When you are growing up, you'll be going to the barber shop, right? When you go to the barber shop, if you have noticed, like for shaving, for cutting the beard, for cutting the beard, you might have noticed, like you might have seen the barber there. So if that barber has razor, do you know anything what is razor? Do you know
Your
anything what is
voice is
razor, right?
breaking.
Do you know? Do you know what is razor?
Ma'am, your
Your
voice is
voice.
break.
The shave of the person. Am I audible to you now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So,
Yes, ma'am.
during the AIDS spreads, actually, you might have seen the barbers. Barbers will be using the razor, right, to clear the shave. Do you know what is the razor?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Right? Now, what happens if that barber is using the same blade for 2%, 3%, 4%? What happens sometimes, by mistake, they are cutting the
Him.
kind of a small cut on the face of that person. When they cut the face, the small part or small area of that person, what happens? What comes out? The blood comes out, right? Immediately when the blood comes out, that will be stuck to the razor, that blade. Now, barber, what they're doing, just they are washing it, sometimes washing, sometimes not washing, just using the same one. Now, from that infected person, that blood, from that AIDS person, that blood now will be transferred to the second person who will come for the shaving. Correct?
Yes,
Ma'am, I
ma'am.
So that is
didn't
how
understood like this. How does this age come, ma'am? When the blood comes out
AIDS
because of
is a
that?
virus. No, actually, already that virus is there into the body of that person. Fine, it is not there in the atmosphere. It is not there in the surrounding. It is there in the body of that person. And from the body of that person, if you are taking it into your body, then it spreads. And how you take it, how it comes in our body? By taking the blood. Sometimes, like if we are using the old, doctors are using the old syringe or old injection, they are using it, right? So that syringe, if they are using and keeping it into the second person, same syringe, then it might spread. Then eating together. Sometimes what happens, like if I'm eating with my hands, my saliva will also come right into that food. What happens? The germs will be transferred into the food, and same food is eaten by some other person. In that case, also it spreads. So these all things like the razor, the used razors or the used needles will be causing this AIDS, and it does not have any kind of the cure. Though the doctors or the scientists they are working that they should get the result of it, but still there is no conclusion for it. That is why we have to be very, very careful. We should not, we should go to the place which is hygienic, and they should not use the same blade or the razor, and they should always open that blade in front of you and then use it. So that is how the AIDS will be spreading.
Ma'am, what is the spelling of that disease?
I'll write it. I'll write it. So AIDS, which stands for the acquired immuno acquired immunodeficiency syndrome. And this is actually the third type of disease, which, wait, this is the sexually transmitted disease. What it is? Through the sex, it get transferred. Fine. So, and it is caused by the virus, which is the HIV, human immunodeficiency virus. So that is how it spreads. So congenital disease from the birth, it will be there in the person. And the last type of disease, what we were talking about is the acquired diseases. So acquired diseases means after the birth. So after the birth, during our lifetime, we are getting these diseases. So those diseases which we get during the lifetime, that is what the acquired diseases. Now, in this category, acquired diseases is divided into two main types, which are the communicable and non-communicable diseases. Now, children, am I clear how we are discussing about the communicable and non-communicable diseases? These non-communicable and communicable are basically the part of the acquired diseases. Clear? So after the birth, whatever disease we are getting, that is the acquired disease. And these acquired diseases are divided into two types, communicable and non-communicable. Communicable, they spread, and the non-communicable, they will not spread it.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
since last year's mic is not working, she wants to rejoin.
Okay, she can rejoin. Yeah, she can rejoin. So am I clear, children? So what we have discussed today, are you clear with that? The different types of the diseases?
Yes, ma'am.
Ashreshta, am I clear? So these things are not given children about these acquired disease, congenital disease, acute disease, chronic disease. It is not given in your book. But I think you should know beyond the book also. Fine. So you should know if I ask you what is acute disease. So you should know it's a normal kind of the diseases which is there for the short term. Chronic, it is there for the long term diseases. Then the congenital from the birth itself, it is there. And we get it from the mother's body, actually, mothers of the parents' body. Then the last one is acquired, which we get during the birth time, and it is of two types, communicable and the non-communicable disease.
Ma'am,
So that is how, yeah, Chandesh.
ma'am, for the AIDS, you told there is no means for medicine, right, ma'am? But you told it can be extended for some or more days, right, ma'am?
Correct.
Ma'am,
How?
so that we can use it again and again, so we cannot die, ma'am.
No, 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 no. See what happened? For example, if someone body is there, okay, now they are taking the medicine. In my body, in your body, in some third person body, the reaction of that, medicine will be different. Maybe in my body, it will be working for the less time. In your body, it will work for more time, maybe 10 days. In the third person body, it will work for 20 days. But that is fine. For me, it is 0 days. For you, 10 days, 20 days. That is fine. They can survive that. But as you are saying, if we are in giving the same medicine to that person, then what happens? The impact of that medicine will not work after some time. It will stop working. Fine, because already in your body, that germ has been spreaded, the microbe has been spreaded so much that they are not ready to accept it. And you might be knowing that our parents, what they do, they shout on us, right? And initially you will be saying, okay, 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 okay. But later on, after some time, what you say? You will be listening from one ear and then throwing it from the second ear, right?
Yes, ma'am.
He's saying, yes, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
So that is what we are saying. This is also, if we amount, they might stop. That is what actually the human life is all about.
Ma'am,
So,
you just voice was breaking, ma'am. Ma'am, will you send the
actually,
notes and the
here that not
discussion?
so audible.
Ma'am, near your video, it's coming like red mark, ma'am. I guess the net is little not there. It's coming.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yes, children. Okay. So that is for today's class, and already I think I have posted how you are going to attend the Sunday's test. Timing will be from morning 8 to the from morning 8 a.m. Sunday till the Monday 8 a.m. The timing will be. 20 minutes for the science test, 20 minutes for the math test will be there. Okay. And do it well.
Ma'am,
Okay, ma'am.
ma'am, will you send the notes of today's
Yeah,
under
tell
the
me.
resources?
Yeah, I'll be sharing. Yeah, I'll be sharing it under the resources.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Bye, ma'am.
Okay, children then. Okay,
Bye,
thank
ma'am.
you, children then. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
ma'am.
Thank you.